What's up everyone, this is Galaxy Zone, and this is probably a kind of long overdue video that I've been wanting to talk to you guys about for a good while. So before we jump into this, let me just say a few things. First off, I did try to make this video once before. It ended up being around 35 minutes. I'm going to try and do this in about 10 minutes and hopefully get as much information out as I can for you guys. The second thing is I've been very busy. I have not had a chance to really sit down and record anything, stream anything, really just do anything that I've wanted to do in a while. I just have constant work, due after due after due. I finish something, it's due. I finish something, it's due. It's just this repetitive start stop sequence, and it's just crazy. So I haven't had a lot of time to really just sit down, give you guys some quality content stuff on Fate and on other videos and things, so I apologize for that. I'm hoping to get back into stuff here pretty soon. I should be able to get into a good amount of information fairly soon as well, because of upcoming events that I really want to talk about with you guys. So without further ado, we're going to talk today about the Fate CCC event Sarafa. This is a very interesting event, as we're going to be getting a bunch of new stuff from this event. This includes items and servants mostly. Now, this event has not been announced yet. There is no release date for this event in NA currently. So why am I talking about it? Well, I recently replayed it in Japan when the event was reran, and I want to basically talk about that event with this event, because they're basically the exact same with the exception of one or two small differences. But I wanted to let you guys know what you could be expecting from this event, because this event is a bit confusing at first, and it's also going to be quite difficult as well. So I'll give you guys a little bit of information on how to prepare for the Fate CCC event. So we're going to run through this. Basically, it's your typical, you've got your event, you're getting a welfare servant, you're getting a gacha, you're getting mission quests that you need to do, 100 of them, and you have rewards that you need to collect from the shop in order to progress the main event. And you also have daily quests in which they only appear after a certain time period. So we're just going to quickly go through this, and I'll run down as much stuff as I can. So this event will only be available for those who have completed the final Singularity Grand Time Temple. So if you haven't gone to do that, go ahead and do that. I don't know if there's half AP going on right now for the main quest. I don't think there is, so unfortunately you're going to have to use maybe some apples to get through it if you're behind. But I'd highly recommend doing it, because we're only about a month out from this event. That's another thing. This event in JP started on May 1st and ended May 24th. The event period was extended, and obviously it was actually re-extended in JP recently. So this may be a very long event. If anything, this gives you an understanding of how much you're going to have to participate in this event. So it's quite a lot. The event in and of itself is sort of difficult, sort of not, really depending on what you're looking for. But it is going to be quite the long one to set up and go part with. Now, the event period for us should be about a week prior to the date that's given in JP. So we're looking at around maybe the last week of April, literally probably around 3/24, or in this case 4/24, as that's today's date, 3/24. So about a month away from now is when we're probably going to be expecting this event. So be prepared for that, because it will be happening fairly soon. So the event guidelines for this is that there's going to be story and side quests. There's going to be challenge quests as well. Basically, you complete out these quests. You can do all the free quests over and over again. Story quests are just once and done. The challenge quests, I think, are also once and done. There's two types of challenge quests. Ones are unlocked through unlocking them. The other ones, I think, are unlocked after you complete the main story quest. I don't know if the ones after the main story quest are repeatable. They may or may not be, I don't remember. I do know the ones you unlock from the store, you can only do those once, but they don't give you a huge amount of stuff. They just kind of help you grind a little bit easier. So the way this works is that there is Sakura money and Sakura chips. Sakura chips are drops from enemies that you kill throughout the event. Sakura money is only available in the shop, and you have to get it through completing missions. Missions being, it'll, for example, go kill this amount of enemies. If you do that, you complete the mission, you'll get free Sakura money. You turn the Sakura money into getting event quest, in this case, so that way you can grind out higher tier quest. You can decide not to do these, however, getting the Sakura money will help you significantly later down the line, and completing all the missions may actually be required if you want to complete this event easily, because, and I will talk about this a little bit later, this event does have a final boss mechanic that is extremely difficult if you decide not to unlock all of the buffs that you can get from the event, so in which case I will talk about it. So there is a mechanic that will appear at the start of every battle called the BB slot machine, and basically it is a list of either buffs or debuffs. Some of these buffs can last for, I think, any sort of buff and debuff, the exception of a few, last 10 turns, and they are completely random. However, some missions and some mission main quests are specific, meaning that if you log into it, it might only ever give you quick card up, and every time you do it after that will only be quick card up or something like that. But any of the random and free quests of the other such are always random. You're either going to get a buff or a debuff. Some of them only last a couple of turns, but they're pretty significant in things like there's a crit star that only affects one character and it gives you 10 crit stars every turn. It's pretty cool. With this, there are two shop CEs, both of which help out with Sakura coins and spawn rates. So there are Sakura enemies and there are these type enemies. I don't know if they have a specific name. Sakura enemies are all pink, and the type enemies are all these like dark colored enemies. And basically completing those will help you get through missions or unlock more missions and get more Sakura coins as well. Different types of servants also help out with this. That's obvious, that usually comes into play. When you're doing the main mission quest, some main mission quests may ask you to beat chaotic, neutral, lawful type servants and such. It'll state what they are. You might have to look those up online. Specifically, I'll recommend this website. It's pretty nice. It's simple. But yeah, some missions will ask you to do that. Each event mission that you get will have a final servant at the end of it that's fairly strong, and you can just keep redoing this over and over and over again. So the sometimes in summer is an increase in quick card, NP damage, and increases NP gauge by 30% at the start of battle. The premonitions of beginning, you receive 2 crit stars each turn and increase NP gauge by 2% each turn, so they're both not bad. Obviously the first one being increasing of Sakura enemies, the other one increases Sakura chips, so you have differences in both. Elizabeth Bathory and Lancer and Robin Hood will be getting animation and NP animation revivals, so this is going to be really cool. They do look much nicer compared to what they are right now, so that will be interesting. If you want to check out the videos for these, I believe you can check them out online just by searching both of them. With this event, we get a new servant class. There are 2 new servant classes coming with this event. Moon Cancer is one of them. There are only 2 types of Moon Cancers, or 2 servant Moon Cancers. Both are BB. This is a welfare servant, so if you complete the event, you will get BB for free. The other BB is a summer limited event that will be happening, I believe, next year, not this year, and she is a 5-star. I won't go into her, but yeah, you can get BB from this. Pretty decent servant, has some interesting skills, and is really fun to use. She is strong against Avengers and weak to rulers, I believe. So this changes up the way this game works. The effects of her Noble Phantasm is an extremely powerful single target attack that I believe does 6 hits, and it reduces debuff resistance with overcharge and increases NP gauge of all allies. So the way you get the Ascension materials for her is by completing, I think it's either completing missions or buying them from the shop. I'm not sure. I'd have to look back into that. I believe it's either one of their 2. There is also 4-star CE events for this, in which case they are basically EXP. You get them after missions, you get them after events and such. They'll just help you level CEs that you have. And this is the only one that is available on it. It's called BB Shot. So, much like the Okita Nobu ones that we're getting right now. So now we get to talk about the Alter Ego class. Now, the Alter Ego class is something I really wanted to spend a bit more time on compared to the event. The event's pretty much straightforward if you've ever done any event before, just kind of a little bit of tweaks here and there. But Alter Egos are very interesting. If there was a cut there, it was me messing up on how I was talking about this. Alter Egos are weird. Like, I actually just confused myself on it. So they do weak damage to assassins, riders, and casters. They receive neutral damage from lancers, archers, and sabers. However, they do resistant damage to lancers, archers, and sabers. They have no specific weakness besides berserker classes. They also do neutral damage to shielders, riders, mooncancers, and avengers. So they have a quite interesting thing going for them. They also do weak damage to foreigners and are resistant to foreigners, if you needed to know that information. But foreigners won't be coming until November of this year, so I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, they're a very interesting class. They, like I said, they really don't have any resistance. They just deal resistance and take neutral damage. Very weird, but they're kind of nice in a couple of situations. However, the Alter Egos that we're going to be getting, I wouldn't say are perfect. They will be perfect at some given point, and by that I mean probably around 2 years from now. But we'll go into that later. So the item exchange shop has 3 things in it. You have Sakura money, which is the thing that is used to buy event quest items and event quests themselves. This is only available from missions, so you have to complete missions to get this. You cannot buy it from the shop. It is not dropped from anything in the event. Sakura chips are available, I believe, only from drops, and I believe you might be able to buy them in the shop. I don't remember, but they are the only thing dropped in the actual event. Karma Phage is a type of third money system that is in this that is only available from completing missions, and this is used to not buy anything, but it's used to do debuff effects to the final boss of this fight, which I will admit right now, she has, I believe, 15 to 20 buff effects, and if you don't really remove any of them, it will probably be one of the hardest fights you will ever do. I don't even know if it's possible to win it if you actually have all the buffs, but I'd have to look into it and find out. If someone actually did do it, that's insane. But I had to grind out all of it, and if you want to remove all of the debuffs, you have to complete all 100 missions in order to get all of the debuff effects. Now, you can go into the fight with only, say, 15 out of the 20 effects if you wanted to. So if you didn't feel like completing all the missions, you can just decide to say, hey, I'm going to remove some of the harder debuffs and just kind of leave some of the minimum ones left alone. And then that way, I can still kind of go through it without needing to complete all the missions. You can do that. Still will be fairly difficult, but just letting you know that that's how that works. There's a lot of them, so you can see here, this is all of the debuff effects that are in here. It's well over probably 20 or so. It's crazy. So these are the Sakura money things, and as I mentioned before, they unlock free and the story missions as well, so you're going to have to grind out the missions to get this. And Sakura chips will unlock the usual content that's in the actual store itself. So these are the missions that I was talking about. Some are given just by clearing certain types of quests or events, defeating enemies, things of that nature. The location that this event takes place on is actually on the body of Sakura. So when you see something that says defeat or clear different left body quest, it means the left side of the body that the image map is located on. That sounds really confusing at first. I didn't fully understand it because I'm stupid sometimes, but yeah, I kind of expected it to be naming of a quest or something like that, and it's not. It's just the actual background of the map itself that we're playing on. So just wanted to point that out. This is the BB slot machine buffs and debuffs. I'm not going to go into this. If you guys want to pause the video and take a look at this, you can go ahead and do that. Basically, some are really interesting, some are not. They're just is what it is. These will just be the effects that'll start at every point in a battle. And then we get into specific servants and how CEs will work in this fest. Of course, you've got soccer trip drops from the alter egos and newer servants that'll be coming to the event, and older servants as well. So this will be a list of who you can use. CEs, the Premonition and Sometimes in Summer are the shop CEs. Will Conquer in the Ocean of Stars, Student Council, and the Cage are gacha CEs. So if you want to get those, you can get those only from the gacha. And you can see here, these are the 3 soccer enemies. They're pink in color. These are these type enemies that I was talking about. And the type enemies range from type 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's also, I believe, a type X as well. So different types of free quests. You can see here, this is what's nice about this website. It tells you how many shapeshifters, types, and Sakuras, along with the type of chaotic the servant is, or class specific trait the servant is, where it's located, drops, things of that nature. So I will list this website down below. This way, if you guys want to check it out, you can. So, but lastly, we'll get into the gacha. So there are 2 gachas coming with this, a part 1 and a part 2. Both of which will include new servants, with the exception of the second one, which will only include 1 new servant. The first servant includes Martillith and Passionlip. Both are alter ego classes, Martillith being the 5-star, Passionlip being the 4-star, and Secession Gozen is a 4-star saber. She is new as well. Martillith is a single target Noble Phantasm, Passionlip is a AoE Noble Phantasm, and Gozen is also a AoE Noble Phantasm. I had to make sure. Martillith and Passionlip and I was going to say along with Karen, but she is not. These 2 are Sakura servants that are part of this event, and Sakura servants will always usually have demerits. These 2 do have demerits in their skills. Their skills are okay as of right now. They will eventually get better with interludes, but they should be pretty interesting going into this. I don't remember too much of their skills at the moment, but I can either list them in editing this video, or I can talk about them around the time they come out, because I will repost this video as well. So Martillith does a extremely powerful attack to a single enemy. It removes all buffs, which is at the end of the attack, and it also increases her quick card performance. This can go with overcharge. Passionlip does a extremely powerful attack to all enemies, and then restores HP of all allies, which also increases with overcharge. Suzuko Gozen does a powerful attack to all enemies and increases crit damage 3 turns and increases with overcharge. These CEs that we'll be getting from the gacha, specifically this one, are the 5-star CE Will Conquer the Ocean Stars and Student Council of Lunar Sea, which is a 4-star. The first one increases Buster card performance by 15 and increases NP gain by 15%. It also increases the appearance of Eater enemies, which I believe are the type enemies, by 20%. The Student Council one increases Arts card performance by 10% and Buster performance by 10%, and of course increases the shape-shifting thing, which is these enemies right here. These are the type enemies. These are the shapeshifter ones. And last but not least is the 3-star The Cage, increases NP gauge by 10% at the start of battle and NP gain when attacked by 15%. And this also increases the rate of type enemies by 20. And that will increase with max limit breaking them as well. So that is the first gacha, which is going to be pretty interesting. I will be rolling on this gacha, by the way. I'll be doing more information about it around the time this event is announced. Right now, I just want to let you guys know about it. The second gacha includes Emiya Alter, Robin Hood, Elizabeth Bathory Lancer, and Secession Karen. So, and Kara is a alter ego class as well. She has probably, I don't believe she has any demerits. Her skills are okay for the most part. She does get an interlude later down the line, and by that I mean around 2 years. Her Noble Phantasm is a AoE Noble Phantasm. It applies evasion and vulnerability for a turn, powerful attack to all enemies that ignore defense, and then recovers her own HP, and that increases with overcharge. She is a fairly decent servant. A lot of people do use her. She can be pretty heavy hitting if you know what to do. She is paired a lot, usually with Tomomo as well. You have Emiya Alter with this, Elizabeth Bathory, Lancer, and Robin Hood, who these two will be getting rate ups right now because of their new animations. Of course, we just got Emiya Alter in NA, so if you didn't get him from there, you can get him from here, which is pretty cool. And that's basically it. That's the quickest rundown I can give to you guys without going crazy into it. And hopefully that helps sum up a bit on a couple things, because I know this can be, like I said, really confusing sometimes if you just jump straight into it not knowing what's going on, which was difficult for me alone, and the fact that everything I was reading was in a different language. So anyway, that's all I'm going to leave off with this video. I will be posting more about this event right around the time it gets announced. I will be live streaming this event, I will be running this event, I will be grinding this event, I will be rolling this event. This event was really fun. I plan to do, this is probably one of the first events that I'm going to be extremely into since the Prismic Codes event, so I'll be doing a lot on it regardless of what's happening around the time. I will actually be doing stuff with this event. So regardless of that, that's all I have to say for this video. And like I mentioned before, I will talk about the release date and if there's any changes specifically with this event when it actually gets announced, which should be pretty soon. We're probably looking within about 3 weeks. I would assume that we'd see this announcement in some way, shape, or form. And then probably in about a month is when this event should start. The Guda Guda event is going to be ending, and the new one will be happening pretty much a couple days after it, so that'll be our next event, and then literally right after that is this, so I'm pretty excited. Regardless, that's all I have to say for that, like I mentioned, and I will talk to you all in future FGO content.